For a very long time, I wanted my father out of my life, and I wanted nothing to do with him. And now that he's gone, I'd really like to have him back. I know I'm not alone in this. There's a lot of people out there that have the exact same things in their lives as well. It's a hard state of mind to be in. My father started out being a very heavy drinker and pretty abusive. I'm not an only child, although I was raised alone. All of my brothers and sisters are halves, and they were not in the home with me. And they were all very much older than I am. And they had a very different relationship with our dad than I did. The hardest part is that I look back on the memories of when I was a child and I see the difficulties that were there. I see that for many years he drank so heavily that I couldn't even get through to him, that I just wanted him to be there. And then when he stopped, everything was great for quite a while. And then he got sick and ended up being absent for a really great amount of time. By the time all was said and done, when I was 14, my mom had divorced him, and I went with her, and I didn't even see him for almost 6 years. And then we had a reconciliation. I went to him and I said, I need to have you in my life. And things were really good. We got together often. We talked often. We'd go out and have quite an enjoyable time together, fishing and talking. And it was really good. And I got to know that my father was more like me than I really ever cared to admit. And then his health degraded to the point that he could no longer talk and walk. He was barely conscious for most of the time. He had many strokes and many heart attacks within a very short period of time. And he was being kept alive on machines. And my brothers and sisters didn't understand why I never went to visit him in the hospice. But there was a very good reason for that. I got to know my father very well. And unlike them, I knew that the last thing that he wanted was to be hooked up on machines and to be kept alive beyond what he was supposed to have. And so they became very angry with me that I never went there. And by the time that my father passed away, they told me that they didn't even want me going to the funeral. I mean, this is my own father. I'm not allowed to go to his funeral. I'll be honest, I didn't go to the funeral. But it wasn't because they didn't want me there. I would have gone regardless. I don't care what people think of me. It's because I believe that when someone passes away, you should hold on to the memories that are good and cherish and celebrate their life, not mourn them. And my own philosophy on that may be different than what most people have, but there you go. I believe that he's in my heart and in my memory, not laying in the ground. And to be honest, I don't even know where his grave is. It was at that point that I basically cut off contact with the rest of that family. I haven't seen or spoken to any of them since. I don't know what's going on with any of that part of the family, and it's been about 8 years now. Sometimes we're saddled with family that is more destructive to us than any other force in the entire universe could be. And if that happens, then you need to make your own family. You don't need to have that destructiveness in your life, and just because they're related to you genetically doesn't mean that you have to have them in your life. There's just no sense in that. Despite how this video may appear, I'm actually living a very happy life. I don't blame my father for anything that he did. I don't blame my father for having the circumstances that he had. I don't blame myself for his circumstances either. Laying blame does absolutely no good. It's the actions that you take that make a difference in your life. And that's what this video is all about. For those of you who have happy relationships with your fathers, congratulations. Cherish them. Cherish your father for who and what he is. And never forget to tell him that you love him. For those of you who have not so great fathers, or very bad fathers, don't blame them, don't blame yourself. Just live your life. And if you have to let them go, let them go. Sometimes we have to make our own families. And sometimes we can have the grace enough to know when to walk away. So everybody, I hope that this is a happy day for you. No matter what your circumstances may be, it all depends on how you look at it. Thanks for listening.